Chapter 9. The Weight of Weakness. The Bloodwild's grey dawn was a slap to Dylan's face, its air thick with rot and the sour tang of despair. Skeletal trees loomed, vines hung like flayed skin, their acid tips sizzling in the mire. Dylan's boots sank with every step, his legs burning, lungs heaving, his starry scars itched. He was a soft-bellied loser, out of shape, never pushed this hard in his life, and the Bloodwild didn't give a shit. Veyr led, a lean shadow in blood-streaked leathers, his tattooed hands steady, chipped amulet glinting. Zariel flanked them, his moss-green cloak blending with the shadows, bow ready, luminous eyes scanning for thorn skulls or worse. The Bloodveil River and Lys's village lay ahead, a missing girl, a drunk father, a silent mother. Dylan's gut churned at the thought, his own failures echoing in their story. He stumbled, tripping on a root, breath ragged, sweat stung his eyes, his Metallica tea clinging like a second skin. Veyr glanced back, his scarred face twisting in disgust. "Fuck's sake, boy, keep up," he growled, slowing but not stopping. "You're dragging like a gutted pig." Dylan gasped, hands on knees, the dagger bouncing against his thigh. "I'm trying," he panted, voice raw. "This ain't my thing." Veyr snorted, planting his boots in the mire, grey eyes pinning Dylan like a blade. "Your thing? What kind of place breeds men like you? No skills, no strength, soft as a merchant's arse? Where are you from, boy?" Dylan straightened, wiping sweat, the question cutting deeper than he expected. Zariel paused, his elf senses probing the jungle, but his eyes flicked to Dylan, curious. "Earth," Dylan said, the word alien in Eryndor's rot. "A coastal town, rusted and dying, but comfortable, non-eventful. I worked a gas station, just showed up, scanned shit, went home. No hunting, no fighting, food's at a grocery store. Pre-made, frozen meals you heat in a microwave. Everything's convenient. You don't have to earn everything like you do here." Veyr's lip curled, a mix of pity and scorn, not understanding what Dylan meant by gas stations or grocery stores. "Comfort's a silent killer, boy. Makes men weak, dulls the edge. The dagger always needs sharpening. Blood, sweat, or it rusts." He stepped closer, leathers creaking, his voice a low blade. "Your world sounds like a cage, fattening you for slaughter. Here you fight, or your mate." Dylan's face burned, Veyr's words slicing his old life to ribbons. The gas station's fluorescent signs, his sagging couch, Narragansett cans, they felt like a dream, soft and shameful. "Maybe," he muttered, gripping the dagger, "but it's all I knew." He hesitated, Corrin's prophecy, star-marked wanderer, heart of dread gnawing at him. The jungle's screeches spiked his fear, and he forced the words out. "How do you get over it? The fear, it's fucking eating me alive." Zariel turned, his green eyes steady, bow lowered. "Fear's inevitable," he said, voice soft but firm like a river over stone. "You don't ignore it. It keeps you smart, careful. Let it wash over you, feel its teeth, then act bravely. Courage isn't the absence of fear, it's moving through it." He gestured to the Bloodwild, its skeletal trees clawing the sky. "This forest fears nothing, but it respects those who face it." Dylan nodded, Zariel's words a faint anchor, but his eyes flicked to Veyr, whose scarred face was unreadable, twin swords glinting like death. "Sounds nice," Dylan said, voice cracking. "But you, Veyr, you don't seem to feel it. Like nothing shakes you. What are you afraid of?" Veyr's jaw tightened, his gaze distant, as if staring through the jungle to something older, heavier. He stepped close, voice low, raw. "My only fear's to face the gods, Kaelith, Vorn, whoever's left, and be judged a coward. Nothing's worse than that. Every kill, every scar, I've earned. Run from fear and you're nothing, boy. Less than nothing." His eyes bored into Dylan. A challenge. What are you afraid of? Still that shithole town or something real? Dylan's throat closed. Veyr's words a mirror to his cowardice, the robber's knives, the brunette's sneer, his own worthlessness. I don't know, he whispered, clutching the dagger. Dying here, maybe, or never being more than this. The admission stung, raw as a fresh wound. Veyr grunted, a flicker of approval in his scowl. Honest, at least. Hold on to that. Fear's a teacher if you don't let it break you. He turned, pushing through the mire, the conversation done. Zariel nodded, falling into step, his cloak swaying. The Bloodveil's close, he said, voice low. Thorn skulls hunt its banks. Stay sharp. The jungle grew denser, the grey light thinning as the Bloodveil's roar echoed ahead, its crimson waters hidden by twisted trees. Dylan's legs screamed, his breath a ragged plea. But Veyr's words, the dagger need sharpening and Zariel's act bravely, stuck like thorns. He wasn't a fighter, not yet, but the thought of Liss, her drunk father's fists, her mother's silence, kept him moving. It was too close to his own life. The coastal town's broken homes, his mom's faded voice. He'd been weak then, but Eryndor didn't care for excuses. The path sloped downward, the mire sucking at their boots, vines dripping acid that hissed on contact. Zariel raised a hand, signaling a pause, his elf senses catching a rustle, too heavy for wind, too deliberate for beasts. Something's tracking us, he whispered, knocking an obsidian-tipped arrow. Veyr's swords slid free, runes catching the faint light, his posture coiled. Dylan's heart slammed, the dagger trembling in his grip. Thorn skulls, he rasped, scanning the shadows, expecting boar-like spines and blind rage. Zariel shook his head, eyes narrowed. Number human, maybe. Bandits frequent the river. He melted into the trees, a ghost, leaving Dylan and Veyr in the open. Veyr's voice was a growl. Stay close, boy. If it's trouble, you stab first. Think later. Got it? Dylan nodded, sweat stinging his scalp wound. The Bloodveil's roar grew louder, its crimson glint visible through the trees, but the jungle felt wrong. Too quiet. His scars burned, as if Eryndor itself was watching, judging. Veyr's fear of the gods, Zariel's courage through fear, they were weapons he didn't know how to wield. Liss's village loomed, its pain a dark promise, and Dylan wasn't sure he could face it, not with his past dragging him down. Zariel reappeared, his cloak streaked with mud. No bandits, he said, voice tense. Tracks, though. Fresh, heading south. Could be Liss, or someone fleeing the village. We're close. Veyr sheathed one sword, his scowl deep. Then we move fast. Girl's not going to wait for us to wipe our asses. He glanced at Dylan, eyes hard but steady. You're not your old life, boy. Not here. Prove it, or the Bloodveil will eat you. Dylan gripped the dagger, Veyr's challenge, sinking deep. The Bloodwild's grey heart pulsed around them, its skeletal trees and acid vines a test he couldn't run from. Liss's trail, abuse, loss, redemption, was a mirror to his own failures, but Veyr's forge and Zariel's courage were lifelines, frayed but real. He followed, legs shaking, the Bloodveil's roar, a call to something he wasn't ready for, but couldn't escape.